Hello and welcome to the Marketing One podcast. I'm your host, Anusha Khannan, and it is great to have you here. Are you looking to move into marketing or want to learn marketing from scratch? We discuss all things marketing, analytics, business, personal branding, AI, and much more in a way any layman can understand. If you're new here, make sure to follow along and get on that email list by visiting anushakhannan.com/email list to receive newsletters from me twice weekly. Follow at Anusha Ramesh Khannan on TikTok. Tag us on your stories. Would love to see that. And now let's dive in. Welcome back to today's episode. Today, I want to have a real conversation about something that's been on my mind, which is authenticity in marketing. Everybody talks about this. And there's just two sides of me that's a marketer and data analyst. And we're living in an age where data and AI is supposed to tell us everything that we need to know about our consumers. But honestly, is that enough? And today I want to explore with you why staying authentic is just such a big deal now and why it's so important. Why does authenticity matter? And what does it even mean? What does it even mean to be authentic? How can brands stay true to themselves but still, keep making those profits? But what does it mean for how we connect with our audience? What does that even look like? We've all been hearing. So first, let's talk about data and the dangers of over-automation. We've all been hearing how data is the new oil. I mean, it's not new. It's been around for a couple of years now, for probably like a decade. Everyone's talking about how AI is just revolutionizing marketing with hyper-personalization and predictive algorithms. I've talked about it a bunch too. And yeah, that stuff is great. I mean, who doesn't want to predict what their customers need before they even know it? But here's where I think it gets tricky. When everything is data-driven and automated, the human element can easily get lost, and it already is. Think about this. Have you ever gotten an email or you saw an ad that was personalized, quote unquote personalized, but it felt completely off? Like, oh, great, I'm seeing ads for baby clothes when I don't even have kids. Awesome. I love it. I wish I were a kid. I'm not. I don't have kids. So it makes you wonder, where's the real connection? And I'm not talking about how the audience targeting was just so miserable in the situation. There's just no real connection. So are we as marketers losing touch with the actual human beings behind these numbers? What exactly is going on here? That's really interesting, but hold on a second. I've got something just as exciting to share with you. Elevar Gazette is your go-to newsletter for elevating both your personal and professional life. Every Sunday, get tips on achieving balance and personal growth. Every Thursday, receive career advice, marketing strategies, and professional development insights, and much more. Plus, stay updated with the latest from my podcasts and much more. Join my newsletter today at anushakhannan.com/email list and start elevating your journey. Let's get back to the show. Which is why I think when people talk a lot about personalization, I feel like I'm getting bored of that word at this point, because I think we all know that humans are craving real connection. So maybe real connection over personalization. Especially after what we've been through globally these last few years. I don't even have to tell you, you know everything. People don't just want personalized ads. They want to feel understood. And that's where the lines get blurred. I was talking to a friend recently and telling them that everything feels oversaturated to me. Like, I feel like every single course platform offers the same thing. I don't know which one to choose. Every single tool seems to do the same thing. I don't know which one to choose. Every single company seems to talk the same way. I don't know which company to learn from, to follow. It's just too confusing. This is where lately I've been realizing that if I connect with a certain individual in a company, if I connect to a certain type of teaching by someone, that is why I will choose that product, that company, or whatever. So just because you know someone's name and browsing history doesn't mean you know their values, their struggles, or what they really care about. You guys know that I've been interviewing, right? I've been talking to a lot of people. Some people I just feel so disconnected with. Like, great job, you're amazing, but I cannot relate to what you're saying. That is not my value. That is not what I want to do with my career. This is where I think brands can win in terms of brands, by showing their true selves and sort of aligning with their customers on an emotional and human level, rather than, just bombarding them with targeted ads, quote unquote targeted ads. I remember when I was doing my master's degree, we had this case study about Patagonia, and I've been just following them for the last couple of years ever since then. I mean, not last couple of years, I think probably 2 years at this point. Patagonia they've built a loyal following, not just because they make great outdoor gear that a lot of people love, but because they're completely transparent and they stick to their values on sustainability. They're not just telling their customers, look, we stand for this, we're awesome. They're actually sharing the cost with their customers. So we're talking a lot about authenticity today, right? And one thing that I love to just keep coming back to is storytelling. Because I think this is where marketing still has a lot of potential to feel authentic. You've probably heard the phrase, people don't buy products, they buy stories. And I think that's truer now than ever. If I had made this episode, for example, let's say that I could just, there are AI voices now. I could probably just have my AI voice do this episode for you. I could probably just talk about authenticity, just brands and do case studies. But if I don't talk about the things that I'm going through, the things that I'm learning, like talking about, I went to, do my master's degree, I learned this, you probably would just feel like listening to an audiobook where there's just like literally nothing but just facts, right? There's a bonding thing happening right now. This is me. I'm actually learning all of these things and talking to you. I'm looking for a job. Like, these things about me, right? That's storytelling. When brands do the same thing, when they tell a compelling story, not a compelling story in terms of like tricking somebody or manipulating them, just like your story, it feels real and relatable because that creates an emotional bond that, I'm sorry, even as a data person, I just don't think data and algorithms can replicate that. That can happen on one side, but this should definitely be happening. Look at brands like Nike. When you think about Nike, you don't probably just think of sneakers. You think of the just do it slogan. And even when you say that as a joke to a friend now, you immediately connect that to Nike, right? You just say like, it's okay, dude, just do it. And then you'll be like, Nike, right? Have you done that before? Because I do it all the time. The athletes they feature and those stories of overcoming challenges. The emotional storytelling builds a lasting connection that a perfectly personalized email campaign, I'm sorry to say, just cannot achieve. Great, Anusha. Love the storytelling aspect. Love that you're promoting us to be, encouraging us to be authentic, but we're also trying to make money here. So what about brands that are growing and scaling? How do you keep that authenticity when your customer base is growing and you're scaling your marketing efforts? I think it comes down to remembering what your brand stands for. What's your why? If you can stay true to your core mission, values, no matter how big you get, people will feel it, no matter what. Sure, okay, use the data. Use the automation tools to help you grow. They're amazing. But always come back to your core message. Remember who you're serving and why you're doing it. A brand that scaled really well, and I'm pretty sure you're going to guess it before I even say it, a brand that really scaled well really while maintaining their authenticity is Glossier. Even as they exploded in popularity, they became so popular in such a short time. I mean, it looks like it to us, like a friend giving you advice on skincare, telling you like do this and that, take care of your skin this way. It doesn't feel like a corporate pushing products. I've had a lot of my friends market Glossier to me, and it feels exactly like what they're doing. So that was another rant today. So maybe if you're wondering how this applies to your own marketing, I think the most important thing to remember is to just constantly check in and ask yourself, am I really connecting with my audience on a deeper level? Or am I just following the latest data trends? Look at the data. I'm telling you again, look at the data. Data-driven decisions, amazing. But you've got to do this as well. You've got to tell your story. Every founder, every person that starts something, there is a story behind that. And there are people that will relate to that. And that is how you form a community. That is how you form advocates. So are we telling stories that matter, or are we just trying to hit numbers? I'm not saying data doesn't matter again. It's great. It's an incredible tool. But it's just that, a tool. It's not the whole story. So that's my take on authenticity marketing. So we have this opportunity to stand out by staying human, by staying real. And that's where, in my opinion, that's where the magic happens. Okay. I would love to hear your thoughts on this. Do you agree? Do you disagree? Let me know. Email me, comment on Spotify, comment on YouTube. Go to the Marketing Woman Podcast LinkedIn page. comment, let me know. Reach out to me on LinkedIn. Yeah, that's all for today. Hope you find it useful. Please feel free to reach out to me on LinkedIn or email me at anusha@anushakanan.com. Follow me on LinkedIn to never miss my journey, and I'll see you in the next episode. Peace.